Okay, hey everybody. I'm still Jay Gorgeski. Let's talk about the active effects improvements that are coming in hopefully the next version of the Cyberpunk Red system module for Foundry. If you open up a character sheet, the first thing you're going to notice is that there is now an effects tab over here. And you can see that I pre-populated this demo with a lot of stuff. But let's take that one bit at a time here. You can see there's a column for the effects and a rough summary of what they each provide. There's a source column, which indicates where it's coming from, as well as the usage value in there. So for example, this lucky active effect can only be applied when the lucky foot is equipped. And you can optionally turn it on and off, as you can see. I just uncheck that, and if you check it back on here, and then it'll pop back up. It's very similar to the 5th edition handling there. This one up top, you notice the source is this dude, which is the name of this actor. This was created on the actor, which is something that you can do if as a GM or as a player. If you just want to have an arbitrary benefit for some reason, you can still do that without the use of an item at all. You can delete them. You can always toggle actor effects on and off. That option will always be there. There's no usage associated with this because there's no item, and the usage property is associated with items only. So if you want to delete it, you could. If we hit the edit button, you're going to get a screen that kind of looks like this, where you can set the label, you can set the icon, and you can change the tint color as well. That's all basic Foundry stuff. In here is where the changes that an effect provides is specified. There is on the left here a bunch of I might not be able to see the drop down because I use Linux and Wayland sucks. But if you click these, you can see like I pick scale, and now I have a bunch of skills that I can select. I'm just going to do a couple of those for the sake of demo. I don't know if you can see that. If you go to stat, then you can go to the stats that are associated with your character. If you go to role ability, you can get to all of the role abilities and sub abilities that are available, regardless of whether or not you actually the character has those abilities in there. So it's the complete list no matter what. There is a combat category as well, so you can get to like damage bonus like it's shown below, death penalty, you can modify that. There's a whole bunch of them in there, so I encourage you to take a look and think of all kinds of wild stuff that you can do with it. I'll put this back to attack bonus. This is the effect value. This right now, the change mode is limited to just adding and subtracting, and we can make enhancements to address that later on. But right now, it just takes whatever value's in here and either adds it or subtracts it based on the absolute value of it. It's the signedness of it. And I left like this little question mark in here that if you hover over it, it says deleting changes and additional active effect modes will be enabled in a future version. Just giving our user base a little heads up that, hey, there's going to be more things added to this in the future. Some other modes that Foundry supports is override. And what that means is this number, instead of it being additive, it just is that number. There's a couple of other ones that Foundry provides as well. Can't support them just yet, but we will definitely get to it. For attack bonuses and damage bonuses, there's no place on the actor sheet to see that. The only time you're going to get an indicator that you're getting the benefits of an active effect is when you actually do the roll. You'll see this bonus to attack field will show up in here, so it's 2. So if I go back to the active effect and I turn off GM favor and then try to roll it again, you see that it's missing. And the same is true with damage as well. So that is that. If I turn that back on and try to roll damage, you'll see that bonus of damage pops back up. Now, there's a whole bunch of different ways to trigger active effects and turn them on or off, or basically enable them. So energize, for example, this is coming from an item called vest, and it's when it's carried or equipped. If I go to gear and look at vest, you can see that right now it is set to owned, so it is neither carried nor equipped. And if we check here again, it's in the inactives, meaning it's suppressed. If you remember the previous video about the suppression, the is suppressed flag, that's what's happening here. So if I go here and I make it carried with the suitcase, and I go back over here, oh look, energize is now up on top. You can still, at your discretion, toggle it on and off if you want to. And if I flip it over to equipped, right, you just saw it pop up down here, I bet, but over here it makes no change. You can still do whatever you're going to do with it. The lucky foot, for example, you can see is only when it's equipped. And so if I go to that and I unequip it, And if I even make it carried, you'll see that Lucky is now disabled and you can't enable it because it's not equipped. Another one's in here is when consumed is another one, and that is only available to drugs. So I have synth coke as an example here. And if I remember, these are all disabled currently. You can turn on drug effects arbitrarily in here if you want to. The only difference between toggled and consumed is that when you actually consume them, like as an action, it will automatically turn them on. So if I click this, it says, are you sure you want to consume the synth coke? I hit yes. You notice that the amount just got decremented by 1. So I've now consumed it, and it just puts a little note out there that says that you're now under their effects. And if we go back over here, we see that, oh, I had him disabled. My mistake. Bad job on my part. They would normally pop back up here. That's the short answer here. And the tricky part, though, is that because the usage property is associated with the item, every effect that's on the item is going to be treated the same way. It might be possible to make them per effect. That was something that I initially attempted, and the code got too complicated, and I abandoned that and just went with something a little bit simpler. But we can revisit that. And the problem here is that you can see like I've configured withdrawal as another active effect, and the actual high that you get, or like the benefit of the drug, is an active effect too. So it's a little bit wonky. If you consume it, you get both the benefit and then the withdrawal at the same time. It's easy to fix though. You just click, the checkbox or the circle to disable it for now. And then when your GM says the time is right, like when you come down off of your synth coke high, you can just flip them like that as well. And that's the gist of how drugs work right now. And again, the only difference between drugs and like toggled effects is that normally if you click the consumption, then it will just work for you. So if I make them, so that's that. What are some of the other ones in here? Oh, res. So programs have when res is a usage that's available to them. So if we go over to the net, I think, and right, yeah. So if we go to effects, we see that boost is currently disabled, suppressed. And if I go, go down here, and if I go to enable buzz, we look at buzz over here, we can see that it provides program speed +2 in the description. Oop, did I get rid of that? Come back here. And then we res it by clicking this. That should have worked. I clicked ice, my mistake. Let's click buzz. Whew. Okay, that's a relief. I was worried I had something messed up there. Now this is there. You can enable it, disable it like usual. When you deres buzz over here, you'll see that it will fall back down to inactive effects. And that's it, pretty much. Those are all the different ways we can mess with active effects in here. Oh, I can demo cyberware as well, but you probably get the idea. I don't think I have that easily prepared or created. We have one in here. Cyber eye. Let's do it. We'll give a new effect in here. Let's call it crazy vision. Plus to create a new one. We're going to make it a skill. We're going to say perception. You get a crazy +10 to your perception. We'll save that. See perception +10. When to enable it, I will set it to when installed. This is, I'm just checking to see if it's a type of cyberware this is, make sure it works. It's foundational. No. No. There we go. So now if I bring in and get rid of this cyber eye and add in this cyber eye. And if I look on the effects, there should be crazy vision is in there. Turned on when it's installed. If I go to install it, yeah, we're going to skip this part. So now it is installed and crazy vision is now there. We can turn it on and off like usual, but it's only available when it's installed. If we take it back out, and it is now stuck in the inactive section. There, that was all of it. I hope that was useful. Let me know what you think on the merge request, and looking forward to everybody getting looking forward to what people think of it.